This one is for all the RPG fans out there. You know, for all the love I have for this genre, outside of Fire Emblem, I rarely ever talk about it. So yes, this is my second RPG related Switch video. Just leave me alone, alright? 2019 is looking to be an exciting year for Nintendo Switch owners, but specifically Nintendo Switch owners who are also lovers of RPGs. With rumors of a new Direct being right around the corner, literally any given day now, I got excited and immediately thought about all the long adventures we would embark on this year. So here's a list of 7 RPGs that deserve your attention on the Nintendo Switch 2019, alright, and that aren't Pokemon. Here you go. Starting off this list, that is by the way in no particular order, we have Town. We've spoken about this in bits and pieces throughout this channel already at this point, with excitement to be natural and only expected due to the legendary team that's behind this game's creation. Game Freak, the developers behind this little title you may or may have not heard of, Pokemon. I know, very obscure. The team is shifting gears and crafting a truly unique world completely separate from the usual series, and it looks amazing. The way Town's world is presented would lead you to believe nothing is wrong, but this couldn't be further from the truth, as monsters, huge monsters, are out to destroy this otherwise peaceful village that enjoyed a life without alarm under the protection of a castle until everything started going crazy. Battles appear to be strategic, the way Game Freak is known for, so even though this game looks lighthearted, I expect the challenge to be anything but. Little outside of this is known about Town as of right now, but as soon as we hear anything else about it, you know we will let you guys know. It's slated to be released this year. Tales of Vesperia was an RPG that I had loved on the 360 many years back. Tales of Vesperia sits as only one game in a sea of different stories. Think about it in terms of the Final Fantasy series, how one game is a standalone story and experience all unto its own. So imagine my surprise when I see that the Nintendo Switch is getting the definitive edition of this game. Vesperia takes place in a world called Terra Lumiris, which utilizes energy from a source called Blastia for literally everything. This also includes creating protective barriers around towns in order to keep out monsters. Players take on the role of Yuri Lowell, a former Imperial soldier who forms a guild called Brave Vesperia, along with Estelle, a noblewoman he meets early on along his travels. As they explore the world, Brave Vesperia are challenged by different enemies and factions who plan to use and abuse the Blastia for other means. As things progress and get more hectic, Yuri is unfortunately forced to face his old friend and comrade Flynn. I highly recommend you guys check out this game, and it actually drops tomorrow. Definitely worth it, just saying. The next entry to grace this list gives me serious Persona and Mirage Sessions Sarp FE vibes. The Caligula Effect Overdose is set inside a virtual reality program known as Mobius, created for those who wish to escape the pain of their everyday lives and are instead placed in an idyllic high school environment and are subsequently forced to live out those years indefinitely. The main protagonists are a group of youths that realize they are inside a virtual world and fight tirelessly against the forces that intend to keep them there forever. This group is appropriately named the Go Home Club. Probably could have went for a better name, but there it is. The release date is up in the air right now, but it is set for the Switch this year. Alright, pause here, story time. Long before AJ and I created this channel, way back when we were still in high school, during my summer breaks I would spend a lot of time doing side projects that were a little productive. I'd be spending my time making RPG games with RPG Maker. Actually, we used a lot of software to try to make our own games early on, but that's a story for another day. But anyways, I tell you this because the next entry in the list, see, look at that, it was actually all related. See, I didn't go off on a weird tangent. Anyway, RPG Maker MV. This game gives you the power to put together your own RPG that you would want. Tell your own story, share your own quests, enter your own names, literally anything that you could think of. In the RPG Maker games of old, we were able to actually go inside the script and change how the game looked as far as the battle system and things of that nature. And this would be the first RPG maker that I've seen on console, so I wonder if it would be the same here, though I'm not entirely sure. Here's hoping you're able to send your games to friends and share them as well, because that would be something cool to do on streams, play you guys' games, and just laugh at you guys' stories or whatever you guys put together. That would be so awesome, and it'd be a nice community thing to do. So that's mainly why this is on the list here. So moving on. Final Fantasy is set to have a big year for the Nintendo Switch 2019. We all saw all these Final Fantasy games that were to be announced and to be put on the system this year. And of all of those, I'm really excited for Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles Remastered, a game that was initially created for the Nintendo GameCube, but faced a weird design choice as multiplayer was only able to be accessible through Game Boy Advances and link cables. I'm literally not lying to you. You had the link cable from your Game Boy into your GameCube, and that was how you played. It wasn't here you have this game controller, I have this one, and all of a sudden we're playing multiplayer. So that was just a big, huge turnoff for me. The fact that we can play this game and now we have the Joy-Cons and all these other different ways to play just excites me so much. And plus the style and aesthetic of this Final Fantasy game is different from the Final Fantasy games of the norm. Crystal Chronicles takes place in an unnamed fantasy world inhabited by 4 different races. Players take control of a caravan hailing from the village of Tipa. It is here that the 4 races come together in order to help complete this mission. 1,000 years before the game even takes place, the world-sustaining Great Crystal had been shattered by a meteorite carrying an alien life form called the Meteor Parasite. Man, okay. The names of some of these, they're just so... The Go Home Club, the Meteor Parasite, which carried a parasite. This is just... I'm sorry, guys. These names are just awful. Anyways, the parasite in question carried a poisonous gas called miasma that killed anyone that even touched it. Shards of the Great Crystal that was scattered are able to ward off and neutralize this poison, but in order for any of the Great Crystal Shards to be of any use, they require renewal from myrrh, an energy harvested from magical trees. So the Taverners go across the world in a mission to gather myrrh in order to restore the energy to the crystals. And along the way, events happen and unfold. But once again, I can't wait to actually be able to give this game a fair chance and actually get into the meat of it, because all those years ago, the way it was set up on the GameCube just wasn't appealing to me, and I honestly just dropped it. But now the Nintendo Switch has it, so it'll get a lot more playtime. Up next, we have Hellpoint, which looks like Dark Souls and Bloodborne, but in space. Just look at the gameplay. It just gives me those vibes, and I can't wait to get my hands on it. I played Dark Souls and Bloodborne a few times, but nothing really substantial in order to give you a one-to-one definitive, this is a mirror image and copy of those games. I know it, so I can't say that because I haven't spent a lot of time with those, but it just has that kind of style to me. And honestly, I'm gonna sink a lot of time into this one. Just because it's on the Switch and just convenient. You know, we just all love our Switches. Okay, I'm biased a little bit, but sue me, all right? Can't wait to get my hands on this and play it. Unfortunately, I don't know too much about this game. I couldn't really find anything. So, I mean, 2019, hopefully, and we'll see how this one pans out. Can't wait for it. I'm very excited. Lastly, we have Grandia 1 and 2 Remaster for the Nintendo Switch. Grandia is a series that I have not played, not gonna lie to you, but due to the critical reception of these games, scoring 9s out of 10s almost across the board upon their initial releases, it goes without saying that I can't wait to get my hands on these games and see what all the hype was about. There's a huge fandom behind this series still that have held loyal throughout the years, and I really want to see this game make its way to the Switch very, very soon, and I'm so excited. Like most JRPGs or just RPGs in general, Grandia has become notable for its combat rather than having combat serve as the vehicle for plot. In most cases in JRPGs, combat is more of an afterthought as opposed to the story and plot taking center stage. But the combat, from what I've seen and what I've heard around postings and Reddit posts and the internet in general, Grandia is really known for its combat mechanics, and that is intriguing to me. This story takes place in a fantasy world that is on the brink of emerging technology and civilization overall. The player takes control of a young boy named Justin who inherits a magical stone that enables him to travel the world to uncover long-lost civilizations, cities, and just different cultures. These games were initially set to be released in 2018, but there's been some sort of delay, and until word is finally announced, I'm not sure where this release is set to go, but I'm still thinking 2019 is a good place to expect it, so that's why it's made its way onto this list. But there you guys have it. Those are 7 Nintendo Switch RPGs 2019 that deserve your respect and attention, that aren't Pokemon or Fire Emblem. Not to say that these games won't be great, because they will, but there are other things out here that you can play and expect to be great in the meantime. If you guys like this video, be sure to let me know that by clicking or tapping the like button right there. Be sure to share this video with a friend or anybody who you think likes JRPGs or RPGs in general and they have a Nintendo Switch or they're thinking about getting a Nintendo Switch. Be like, hey, here are all these RPGs, this cool guy made this video and there's a bunch of cool RPGs here so that you can get a Switch and blah 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 blah. You know, just give them the whole rundown, the whole spiel, and hopefully they like the video and share it just as much. Be sure to check in every Tuesday and Thursday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time for videos just like this. Wednesday streams, Saturdays podcasts. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you guys again next week. Bye.